What can you learn from past life regression? Oh, I bet you wonder, oh my, what could I learn? Why would I want to do this? Why would I want to take a past life regression or have a past life session? Well, for me, it was fascinating to learn about my past life. So let's listen to a little bit about what I went through in a past life regression. So, what I learned from my past life regression is to listen to my heart. And I know that sounds like a song, but it's true. I was a gangster in a past life. So, I was like a gangster from like the 1920s. And of course, I was dressed impeccably. Yes, baby. Yes. I had the pinstripe suit and I had the hat. But I was carrying a rifle. I don't like guns in this lifetime. And I was supposed to be killing someone, which I didn't really want to kill. And then she fast forwarded me to another event in that lifetime, and a whole bunch of us were supposed to be killing this person. And I kept saying, why are we going to kill this person? This makes no sense. And they're like, well, because they took money from us and they haven't paid it back. And I'm like, well, killing them is not going to get us the money back. Hello. We're just going to, kill this person for no reason. And they're like, well, it has to set an example. I'm like, this is the silliest example. This is silly, so I knew in my heart that this is not something I wanted to do, but somehow I got caught up in this. And I don't know how. Maybe it was the whole looking good thing in the pinstripe suit, because I do love a really good menswear. I love really tailored menswear. Uh, I don't, I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's from this past life. Then she fast forwarded me more, just to another part of that lifetime. And I was with, I believe, a grandmother figure. It felt more like my great grandmother than either of my grandmothers or my mom. And I was at the kitchen table, in the middle of the kitchen, the table, sitting there, and across my lap is that rifle again. And I was worried that someone was going to come and get me or come and get my grandma. And my grandmother did not like the fact that I had this rifle or did this work or any of that, right? No duh, right? But what I learned from that was to listen to my heart and really do the right thing, which was not to kill those people. Now, another past life regression that I actually did on someone else, that I was the hypnotherapist on this, and I put somebody through a past life regression, was someone who went into their past life, and what they learned from their past life regression was to keep moving forward. So their first past life was their wife had passed, and they were like in their 40s or later 40s, and then like literally 5 years later or something, they passed. He didn't want to move on. He did not want to move on in that lifetime. Like he just, like, after his wife passed, it was sort of like, I got nothing. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to live life. So, first past life lesson learned, I don't want to do anything. Second past life was he left home, and it was like his time to leave home, right? So he's probably, 20s. I remember him saying, I'm 20. Like, okay, where are you going? I'm going into the woods. How do you know? Because there's a path. Okay, so then he ends up, we fast forward, he's in a cave, and that's where he lived his entire life, was in a cave. He didn't know how to, again, move forward. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to be around people. And that's sort of what happened in his life. And so it was like, oh, okay. So then we fast forward to another life, and he is a little girl. And in that timeline, um, he takes me through that life, and we take him to where he's gonna pass away, right? Like, this is your last day. What do you see? Where are you? And the little girl is now an older woman, and she says, I'm older, but I have a lot of money now that I'm passing. I have all this money. Um, my first husband that I married, he passed, and then I got married again, and he passed. And he said, I did not kill either of those two husbands. And the third husband, I think, oh yeah, then there was a third husband, he passed. And so she was left with all this money. But the point to this whole story of what did he learn from his past life regression was he didn't move on in the first life that we went to. He definitely didn't move on in the second life, but by the third lifetime, he had moved on and he had learned how to move on. So he was growing as a soul and he was growing in these lives, right? So what he took from that was, yeah, keep moving forward and don't stop, and just live life, right? Just live life, because that's what it's all about. It's about living and not just sitting and wallowing and worrying and not doing anything. Just really live your life and have fun, right? Like don't sit back and watch the world go by. Instead, get out there and live. So I think if anything, from those two past life regressions, one was follow your heart and, live life and keep moving forward. Both of those are beautiful, instances where, we've had these past lives and we're learning from it. Because today, in my life, I wouldn't be carrying a gun. And I do try really hard to listen to my heart and really go about doing the things that are right. And, I don't always do everything right. I mean, I'm human. I make mistakes, and those mistakes lead me to doing better and better and better, right? So remember, past life regression can be very, very interesting. And it's just exciting to hear the stories and know what I did in a past life and who was I and why was I like that? I mean, a gangster? I'd always kind of thought I was a gangster because I really love menswear. I know, it's super weird, but it's something that I've always really loved. And so it kind of confirmed that, there's some connection there, right? There's a connection there. And you can also, find out through past life regression, were there people in this particular life with you in those other lives? In another past life regression I did, I'll just touch on it slightly. I thought my son was there, but it didn't really feel like my son. And there wasn't anybody else around me that was like in this lifetime. So it's kind of interesting, kind of interesting to figure out how were our current family members with us in those other past lives, or were they not? What was the purpose of them being there, right? It's just, I don't know. I find it completely fascinating, and that is why I got into this work. So I hope you enjoyed that, and get out there and get a past life regression, because that is super fun.